Good evening. Welcome to this grand book launch. I am Chitra Padmana, author and co-founder of the Creative Circle. And on behalf of TCC, I welcome you all to this auspicious occasion. Today we will be launching the book, The First Wave, Life of a COVID Warrior, authored by Dr. Prashant Nayak. Allow me to introduce the theme of this book. Today we will be introducing a remarkable book that encapsulates the struggles of the challenging period of the pandemic through the lens of a doctor. The description of the book is based on the author's experiences when he was working as a senior clinical faculty in an institute of national importance, AIIMS Raipur, during the first wave of COVID-19 pandemic. The book consists of a stepwise discussion of the balance of his personal and professional life during this extraordinary situation. Dr. Prashant Nayak is the main character of the book, and he discusses his various experiences where he struggled against the first wave of COVID-19 pandemic in a unique way, and then he penned down his experiences. So we will be celebrating this entire journey in this book launch. Moving forward with the events, I am going to invite Niladri Shekhar Mitra, founder of TCC, to deliver the welcome note.
Welcome everybody. Congratulations, sir. So I'll just talk a little bit about the Creative Circle. The Creative Circle started in 2021, and it started with an idea of how to bring authors together in a platform, in an authors community, and how to also provide services to authors who need those to publish their books, because writing and publishing are two very different things. So I was an author before I was working in IT that time, and I got burned while I published my first book. So then I met Chitra, and we sort of started it at a very low level with only like 6 or 7 authors students. Now we have an authors community of 150 authors, and we have worked on more than 115 books with more than 65 authors. And it's counting, we've worked with some of the leading publishers of India, HarperCollins, Reed Start, Loxley Hall, Inken, so we have worked with them also. And now we're expanding and going into other directions. As for the book, I'm a very slow reader, and that's why I've just started reading the book, so I'm only page 18 or 19 now. I just ordered the book and I started reading it. So I'll be able to talk better about the book in later events that we'll have for it. But I can say one thing is very exciting to read something that's written by a doctor about the pandemic. We all know what happened in the pandemic, and there is a new genre of books now called pandemic literature that's just come up. So that is when Sir told us that we'd like to promote the book and everything. The genre we put it under is pandemic literature, because it's just come out, and there are, maybe 20-25 books coming out a month only in India about this genre. But the point is, mostly books they're talking about what we did in the lockdown, what we learned from when we were cooped up at our homes and stuff like that. There are very few books that are written actually by an author, by a doctor. There is one recently that was written by the doctor, but she fictionalized the story. It was a fiction story set during the pandemic. But a non-fiction book written by a doctor is really exciting. So I hope the book does well. I hope it reaches as many readers as we can. We from TCC will do our best to ensure that happens. And now I'd like to call upon sir to say a few words about the book.
I'll just introduce her.
Sure.
Thank you, Niladri. Indeed, I think that this book will surely be a part of our history as part of pandemic literature, which will serve as a beacon of inspiration for all future generations. I would like to invite the author, but before that, let me just introduce him a little. The author is a well-known fertility consultant and gynecologist in Eastern Central part of India. At present, Dr. Prashant Nayak is working as a clinical head and fertility consultant at Oasis Fertility Hospital, Bhubaneswar. Previously, he worked as a professor at IIMS and Sun Hospital, Bhubaneswar, and as an associate professor at AIIMS Raipur. He has also authored another book with the title 5 Minutes. In fact, you can find it as a part of a library at the Bocca Cafe, so it's part of our collection. And all the avid book lovers of the city, they often visit this cafe, so they can also just read the book. Okay. So he's a surgeon, researcher, teacher and writer. And since this book is all about his experiences, I would like to invite him to share the book's journey and what compelled him to write about it. Sir.
I'll have few words about the journey. So first of all, I must thank to TCC, Niladri Shekhar and their group to accept the proposal of promoting this book. Because as you know that in our profession, so being writing something and reaching to people is not possible side by side. That's why I need your help. And you people are very kind to accept this proposal and have this launching program, and will also coordinate with further promotions and all. So well, so as to first of all, I must say good evening to my father-in-law, mother-in-law, and all my family members and all these kids present over here. Though they are part of the journey and they are part of this book writing. So I must say that I wrote this book in a time when actually it was a very desperate moment and it was an extraordinary situation when everyone was struggling with their professional life, family life, social life, because there was lockdown and there was nothing to do other than your work, or you were completely, you can say, imprisoned inside your house. So people had so many changes in their life, not only emotional, professional, their financial, so many changes. So being doctors, I was there at AIMS, you know, this is the Institute of National Importance. So there the time was different because they are mostly COVID hospitals. So all the patients started flowing into the hospital, and we are the people to take care of them, and it was a very crazy situation, and simultaneously it was very, we are very much afraid of facing those patients also. So in that situation, while handling those patients and our profession was very much challenging. So that time I was staying away from family. I was in Raipur and family here in Bhubaneswar. So in that moment, so I found that how can I spend the side of mind that if I had a passion to write or sing or do something like that extracurricular activities. So I started writing. So of course during that period I wrote this 5 minutes that was a fictional story. But at the same time I found that the day-to-day life, the day-to-day events what we are facing is different from others, or maybe it is unique for me. So I started noting them down in real life experience. So later, after publishing my first story as the fictional story which I started initially, how we are having a balance with our work and with our family, with our surrounding, and at the same time I have also cited what was happening all around us, means in the world, in India, in other countries. So what was the politics going on, what was there in the news channel, what was there in the everywhere. So everything I have tried to, more or less I have tried to cite them. So finally, when it came to the time of editing, of course, Supriti was the main pillar of it. She edited it completely. That time, this Piku was a very small kid just born, and with that situation also she took that responsibility and completed it. So many thanks to her. So finally, I sent it to different publishers. So many accepted it with different conditions, but I found Garuda publishers as the best people. So because they had their little lenient terms and conditions, and they agreed on the 2023 December. Anyway, finally it was done. So I am very happy that at least it came in. I gave it the safe, and finally it should reach to the real audience of people who might be interested in reading and knowing about the COVID situation, and go back and again relive that life. So people will definitely find it very interesting. So that is my purpose. And simultaneously in every chapter also I have some message till that what we learned from it. That is also cited in every chapter wise. So thank you very much again. So thank you for your patience listening the kids. Okay. So I must thank both of you for this nice wonderful organization. And thank you very much.
Listening to your book's journey, and I'm sure that this book will be an everlasting symbol of bravery and courage, and it will also be a tribute to the sacrifices made by countless COVID-19 warriors, which is what the book is all about. Now it is with utmost pleasure that I invite our chief guest of today, Mr. C.C. Mitra, ex-regional director of RBI, to address the audience.
Good evening, everybody. Let me felicitate young creators of the Creative Circle, an organization which is doing so much work for the Niladri Circle, and the creator of this book, Prashant Nayak, and all the persons who have come here, and our family members also. I have got a direct interaction with COVID matters also. And COVID situation, everybody has faced it. But then somebody has faced it in different ways, somebody has realized it in different ways. So myself, being father, my daughter, being a doctor also, father-in-law being another doctor, and others also. And also, myself, I was considered during that time. I was doing financial consultancy. During that time, I was doing financial consultancy. So I have seen the economic side. And this particular pandemic, it was declared as a post-major condition. We knew about the post-major condition as a condition in the FP agreement. The FP agreement has got a condition of post-major. But then we didn't know that there can be a post-major condition which should be worldwide appeal. So Ministry of Finance declared it as a post-major condition. They declared even before the lockdown. They declared in 2020, January, because then it happened in China. And thereafter we started fetching it little by little. I know, first time when I interacted with the ACL, with the head of the this manual, So the manual, they are a very big organization. They are hotel operators. They have few hotels of themselves own, but they are hotel operators and having different brands. I was associated with a few Marriott hotels, at least five, and we were demanding why your business is not picking up, etc., etc. We are making our demands. And that interaction was with the head of the Asia Pacific. And then he came out. At that time, they have got hotels in China also. So he knew the China conditions. So he said, you are talking about the business, but we wonder whether this business which you have here at present, whether we will be able to carry it forward. Because we are facing a terrible situation in China. And at that time, the newspapers, okay, but then we had no first information about the China matters. We didn't make too much. We didn't take much notice of it. We rather pressed that our hotel should do well. That hotel did. And a few days after that only, the government declared something. And luckily during that time, I had not traveled outside. We would have traveled outside, I was having second. And then, as I have seen, some RBI people who had come here on a visit, and they couldn't return back. And nobody gave them houses. Complete. And then we have seen a situation from very close partners. We have seen it as a partner, as a warrior, that is COVID warrior, but we have seen it also. My wife got it. One time I got it and I was very anxious and desperate. I called this fellow, I told them, didn't know what you eat. And then the worst part of it is that the police party corporation came and put up a poster in front of my house, and at red nights the poster is still there. Like, this is a COVID investment. And I think they were police saving those things. The Supreme Court told them not to do that and stop that. And the moment they did that, first of all, very COVID present for your kids don't come. You cannot go out. You cannot use the lift. You can't go and take your provisions. All those problems are there. And then putting up that poster, it is further, it totally, it's not even a prison, it's more than a prison. I ordered my food. Not ordered, I requested some of my licenses to provide some food for us. Then he came, but he came with all covered up, and with what is it called, this helmet, power is also pulled out. He knocked it. Ran away. So that was the situation. And then we lost our friends. We lost, in some cases, we lost quite a bit. Some cases, like Odisha, with the big architecture that so carving personality. That when I talked about that COVID matter on behalf of a entrepreneur, and he was present in the meeting, he was pressing forward his economic agendas, and he was not much listening to the COVID matter. He faced his entire family suffered. And it's a very sad thing that he passed away. At the age of 58, he passed away. And still it haunts us, because I do go to background, I do have them. I have to mentor his son, because he was 58 only, his son was only 30, not doing anything about business. There was no will, there was no, so this impact was so very wide. There was no will, there was no nomination of the sales, and hardly he has done anything to that. Yes, we can view the big impact, the married players and other particles. And he was completely, and sometimes that person is still with me, but then we'll be talking later 2 hours, 12 o'clock. And then when he will be narrating his stories, he will not only narrating his story about his succession, about his year problems, about his business problems, but he will be narrating the story about your own households. You know, when somebody dies, and then the actress dies, then immediately then the reward comes out. They try to test the strength of the succession. Then I guided him, and he was successful. He took the help of different consultants from Delhi. They gave him a very big plan. Indian Succession Act 1928 is there. According to that, they gave him a plan. You see, around 15% of the property you will give government as tax. 15% of the property will give government tax. And thereafter 2 years of factory and devolution. And all these things will end up in a very big sum. But I guided you. Somehow it's got some brothers here and there, saying RBI, this and that, art. And in a perilous manner. He would have spent 50 crores, but finally he did it without spending 5 rupees. So that's again is a COVID life, because his father died because of COVID. What happened? His father, I told him that because I was a consultant, not only in matters, he consults me on religion, he consults me on philosophy and other things also, right? I told him to take, this injection to take. What is it called? Action you take. उनको कोई बताया कि action को लेंगे because he got some, because he is a big person, German से help किया ये सब and he didn't take and he succumbed. And when he succumbed, he went to the best hospital in the country, that is Medan. But Medan became the place where the maximum number of patients died. His test treatment of no idea, but many died. They died in Medan. So that's what it is. Similarly, there was one case of he was going for a food processing unit. Okay? The food processing unit was having 100 crores investments, and then it involves substantial amount of 100% imports from German and Netherlands. The Netherlands experts, the technicians, they were issued e-visa, and the e-visa was there. They were to come, their tickets were booked. In this state, that all the visas government cancelled. And then government says that nobody can go. Then after that, government went on an agreement on a country-to-country basis. I'm forgetting the name, not we should know the name of the agreement. That in this country you will have 2 days Saman hai, 2 days hai, and like that. So in that also, very difficult to negotiate and to get the people. Finally, we struggled with the government to relax the rules and keep the visa. You see what happened, and people died without vaccine. It is not medical. Then when we say that at a time visa is liberalized, trials are taking place, we say that you please come and set up the trial. Because all these 100 crores have been given to you, all the machines are in packed condition, you come and set up. They said, your people are dying out of oxygen there. How do you go there? They very genuine thing. And at the time he was alive. He said, in the real when the people are dying here out of oxygen, so often reason to come. But then again, he passed away. He again proceeded and they came and they set up meetings. Great ages, living, but it's set up and it's so this particular situation, this pandemic, is not only a health problem, it's a family problem. It has got a social impact, it has got a medical impact, it has economic impact, substantial to the jobs. Government saying that you have to pay salary. First motivation they give it. Then they say that again second they repeat it. But then even so hotel is not functioning, if a business is not functioning, how do you give salary? No one gives salary by selling his own property elsewhere and selling elsewhere. And that was updated in the court, in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court gave an order after long deliberation that you cannot force them and to give the salary. You will negotiate. And then the government in the third circular, very quietly, without making any fanfare out, preaching and all that. Because earlier they were preaching that you should pay, you should pay, you should pay. After the two circulars, in the third circular, they stopped saying that. They omitted that. Nobody knew that they had omitted it. Even the business people, they are not good readers. They don't read also. They also forget to read. But then they quietly, Supreme Court में case चल रहा है, but they omitted that. So these are and economic impact are very small. And you are whatever that he has written, I have read it half of it. And all these personal experiences, even my daughter is here. At the time we were ready. So only we pray and hope that it happened after 100 years, such a pandemic, it did not happen anymore. But one thing is that whatever happened, this about that migration, that labor migration, I have written 90%. So this huge problem, people travel to 1,000 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers in that pathetic condition. So only let the stories be codified. You have two stories, let the people read it and let us learn from it and let us modulate our practices. Let us not compromise with the sanitary conditions, with the hygienic requirements. Now, same when coming to that food processing matter, we have a plan of 100 crores investment where the product will not be touched by hand. It will be completely undressed. Even the packing will not be done by hand. Automatic machines. That's creating problem because sometimes our people want छोटा सा packet ऐसा हो because they in Western countries they buy bread only 400 grams. एक ऐसा छोटा 100 ग्राम वाला bread 200 ग्राम वाला bread नहीं चलता. But then we have 400 grams, we have 200 grams, we have 100 grams. Particularly, I don't find 100 grams here. But उधर 10 रुपए वाला bread मिलता है. So then packaging, but then here it is undressed hand and perfect packaging. Packaging is also whatever and then laboratory testing the labs. Then naturally the price should be up. But when the price is up, people are not paying. The restaurants also, the restaurants they will observe the hygiene. Naturally the pricing will be up. So it is good that Prashant has taken time to use that very creatively to love this two foods. Already one food has been offered and this one is already there. And I wish all success to him, all success to you for marketing this book. And many more books also write more books and many more books also in marketing. And as young people, I understand young people. I have impatience also. Now it's all right. Writing to the paper is all right. That's not like I do that. I do that. And many times I take his advice how to visit. And now I think you are also able to give his advice. So all the best to you. All the best to Prashant and all the family and hope this will understand the value that the moral of the story. Thank you very much.
Thanks for this pearls of wisdom. I think you have covered everything, and you have also explained how the pandemic had such far-reaching social, medical, political, and economic impacts. And surely this book is going to touch the hearts of so many people, and particularly the doctors fraternity is going to identify with this book. In fact, I have a message from two doctors who saw the post about the book launch. I was so happy that a book has been written on this topic, and they wish you all the best. They asked me to share some of their experiences. I just received a WhatsApp message from them, and they wanted to let you all know about their experiences. So this is from Suman and Dr. Suman and Dr. Samvit Tripathi. Dr. Suman Tripathi is a medical officer at CHC Kanpur, and she wanted to share some of her experiences as a family member as well as a doctor. So she says that when the virus struck home, they were pretty much clueless as to how the virus is behaving, but most of us were getting trained to use a PPE kit. And it was during April that we felt the burn. The cases were pouring in, even doctors were getting infected, and whoever was serving their COVID duties was supposed to isolate themselves from their family. So the human-to-human connection was getting cut. And it was during last days of April, just post Samvit's COVID duty was over, that he got the virus. And he was 10 days in ICU, 10 days of rare contact where she couldn't know what was happening. And they were witnessing death in young children and old alike, and that was so traumatizing. When Samvit came back, he said that the two patients beside him died on consecutive days. It had scared him to see them die gasping for breath. His own health had deteriorated very bad on the third day, and he was unable to breathe even when oxygen was administered. It was excruciatingly painful, and yet somehow the breath filled his lungs with Benalana, and then he started breathing. And life had changed drastically for them. So this was her perspective as a patient, but as a doctor she had a different perspective. Now, cases ranged from totally asymptomatic patients who were totally clueless as to why they were being isolated, when they don't feel any different to patients presenting with a wide array of symptoms. For some, the psychological impact was very high and scary, and the proportional response to the healthcare infrastructure was similarly aggressive. Now, the general social pressure of being a doctor is usually high, with people perceiving you somewhat of a demigod status, capable of pulling out impossible tricks. It's on accelerated thrust thanks to the social media and celebrities who are working in hospitals fighting the pandemic amongst the patients. Whereas some were safely isolated in their own homes, hoping the medical and the scientific community to come through a miraculous cure. As the time proceeded, and people finally realized that lockdown is not a permanent and sustainable solution, and that vaccination is the only way out, the expectations on the medical community also multifolded. At the same time, COVID was also changing its presentation. So as one astute doctor jokingly put it, except for pregnancy and fracture, COVID can present with any textbook symptoms. Overall, most of the doctors working with them, they felt very overwhelmed and frustrated on handling both the aberrant nature of this strange and new medical phenomenon, as well as the societal and administrative expectations. So this is really addressing the theme of the book, and I'm sure that there have been so many countless COVID-19 warriors, and they have made such great sacrifices being away from the families, fighting the pandemic, also dealing with their psychological trauma. So this book will definitely resonate with them. So I invite all our guests to just come here, and we will be launching the book. So you can hold your copy of the book here. So Prashant Nayak will be holding the copy. We'll also proceed. present itself throughout the journey, and you have also been editing the book. So I'd like to invite anyone who wants to share their experience while working on the book, just a perspective of the back scenes.
Good
evening everyone. Well, I wasn't even aware when we wrote this book and even the previous one. So I know that he loves writing. That's how he had impressed me during our courtship period. He was writing poems and all for me. Now he doesn't write anything for me. So I just hope your next book should be on me or on our journey maybe. But yes, those were hard times because both of them were working in two different places. My child was just 2 years old, so at least I still had my child. So when I did come back from COVID duty, I still could find some solace in him. But he was alone in Raipur, so the only way that we could communicate was through a video call. I remember when I had COVID, I was asymptomatic, but I had to follow the protocol, so I isolated myself in my own house in one bedroom. And my child was so surprised that why mama is not there. And because before that I used to threaten him, scolding me, so then I will lock myself up or I will lock you in your room. So then he thought that probably he has done some mistake, for which I am so angry that I have locked myself up. So every time I just open the door for my maid to pass on the food tray, he tried to rush in, mama, for 10 days I have to keep myself aloof from probably that was the time he also came. Somehow he managed. It was difficult to come. He was not getting tickets and all. But he did come during that time just to be there. So probably somehow that would have stimulated him to think that living apart with a small child during that pandemic, because everything was so unprecedented and uncertain. We did not know next day we might be having a severe form of the disease, getting admitted in the ICU. We have aging parents, so many other responsibilities. So maybe I don't know what made him, or maybe his love for me or not. I'm sure that's not the reason, but the love for the child or whatever be the reason, he thought of leaving Raipur and relocating to Bhubaneswar to be with his family. So COVID did teach us the importance of family values and the importance of staying together in those tough times, because then your neighbors also will not come to your rescue. I was lucky that I was staying in an apartment where it was in the AIMS quarters only, so all our medical officials, they don't have these kind of taboos and stigma. But then my parents, as my father was narrating his experience, or even Prashant, he was staying in an apartment where there are general people also, so they will have that, doctor's house, aas-paas nahi bhatakna hai, those kind of things are there. So that is the time when your family only comes to your help, whatever your needs, your emotions, everything that gets satisfied because of your family only. So yes, COVID has taught us a lot of things. I hope this pandemic doesn't come back, at least in this devastating form. I was just seeing that some COVID cases here and there started coming up. But I just hope it will not take that bad shape. It has also taught us how, all COVID variants, not just the medical fraternity, but also, policemen, everybody else, how they fought with this virus without knowing actually how to tackle it. We didn't have the vaccine initially. Still, there is no cure for it. Everybody had everything we have had. I don't know whether what worked, what did not work, but yes, we have lost many close friends, relatives. All of us have we have seen doom, destruction, despair, but we have come out of it. So I just hope the book does really well. It strikes a right chord among the people, not just among medical professionals, but also the general population, because COVID was that kind of a strain, which you can't ignore COVID. So good luck, Dr. Prashant, on your book, and you owe me a party separately. Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you TCC for this organization as well as helping me out with the book. So do continue your support, and we look forward for a better collaboration and much more productive work, so that it really benefits both sides. Thank you so much.
wonder. And when the reason is as beautiful as you have, it is probably why, in spite of the pandemic situation, we came back to and I found your work really relatable as how, all the children also face such kind of restrictions and they were unable to find out why the parents are behaving in such a weird manner, why they cannot play outside. And also the stigma associated with being around a doctor's house. I have heard such comments from our friends and family who are doctors and players. But kudos to ma'am and sir, you managed the situation wonderfully. And I hope sir writes a book on your journey next. And I could relate to your thing about the courtship and when you used to write poems for you because you were in a marriage. The number of points has declined drastically post-marriage. So I hope sir brings the trend back by writing a book on your journey. Okay, so moving on, ma'am, we'd like you to say a few words. So during pandemic, the doctors like, war pe ja rahe ho, be like a soldier, put all kinds of societal pressure on them to keep performing endlessly, keep serving humanity endlessly. So newspapers also covered always the patient side of the stories about the symptoms and all that. When he gave his book for editing, that day was like, oh, is this what, this is how the doctors must have felt during that period, not just him, for any doctor. And in fact, some of the newspapers that wear this suit and go and operate all that. But what does it take to wear that kind of a suit? How much of sweating happens? How do you manage to work 7-8 hours? It was like unimaginable for us, and we thought it was like, oh, it's so normal, they can do it. Because that's some kind of protective gear. So that way, I think this book is an eye-opener for all those who have just been on the other side. Even I was a part of emotions and feelings of a doctor. This book actually taps into those emotions and feelings, and that's where I think all of us should actually purchase this book and should read this. So thank you, Dr. Prashant, for writing this great book, and thank you for making me register. I was like really overwhelmed when I read that book. So yes, very nice book. So
Come on, sir, like school children.
Just a few words.
School child. You can tell. You can tell.
So I think about the often experience of the book. During COVID, I was a student. I was in the 7th and 8th grade during COVID, and for me, my most distinct experience was we had come. So I live in Bangalore, and I had come to Bhubaneswar to visit family over the summer vacation, and at that opportune moment, the second wave of COVID struck. So we got stuck here in Bhubaneswar for around 5-6 months. So not only were we trying to cope up with syllabus, but I also didn't have any of my materials that I needed to study with. All I really had was my laptop and my phone. That's it. All the books and everything we had to buy new. We had to get new stationery and everything in order to study over here. And in the middle of all that, we were staying with family. So I think that was the main thing that really helped us get through that entire thing, getting stuck in a new city for such a long period of time. So thank you to all my family for making that experience bearable. Thank you to my uncle, Dr. Prashant, for writing this wonderful book. I'll read it as soon as I get my hands on it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. The speakers were interacted, and indeed your words were just touched our hearts. And I see sir is also there. Okay, he's listening in. So we have come to the end of this remarkable program, and I'd like to urge all our viewers who are watching this on YouTube, and we'll also be putting this on Instagram. So if you're watching this, this book is available on Amazon. It's published by Garuda Books, and it has a wonderful theme of unity, of compassion, and will definitely inspire you to be more resilient. It talks about the pandemic, but it is so much more than just a memoir. It's a beacon of inspiration, and it talks about a COVID-19 warrior. You may have known such COVID-19 warriors, you may have experienced it yourself. And so this book, as the cases are also rising around us, it is a reminder that come what may, we will always rise again. And we definitely wish this book all the best. Please order a copy of this book, and it is available on all major platforms. So we urge you to order yourself a copy of this book and enjoy it, share it with your family and friends. Thank you so much, guests and speakers for today. Thank you, Dr. Prashant Nayak, Mr. C.C. Mitra, thank you, Niladri, and thank you everyone for being a part of this. Thank you.
Yes. Subject.
साइन कर दीजिए ना, हम लोग क्या करें? साइन कर दीजिए।
बिझी थोडे करून घे.
Okay.
आम्हाला लाईट पेन ब्लॉक मी लाईट ब्लॉक करणार विचार
Speaks.
When they give it out,